Hello there everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Wonder Boy 3 Monster Lair. In the last episode, we took on a jungle area and beat a boss named Caverns. And now in this third episode of the playthrough, we have entered a series of caverns. The game does get a little bit trickier here. I am losing quite a bit of lives in my practice on this stage. The main problem is that you can only shoot directly in front of you. So when the game starts throwing these slopes, where you obviously can't hit things that are at the top of the hill if you're below them, it does get a little bit trickier. It's not super hard, but it is just something that you need to put a little bit more thought into from a game where up until this point it's been a pretty mindless side-scrolling. It's been hard to even really truly call it a platformer up until this point. It's, there's been very little platforming to speak of. It's been very easy so far, but now we are having to think a little bit more. Unfortunately, the number of things that appear on the screen at any one time can get a little bit overwhelming for the game, which is causing the slowdown you see there. I don't know why an emulation of Genesis hardware is having the same technical problems as original Genesis hardware, but I don't really know how emulation works, so I'm in no position to really speak on the matter. Now, we have gone through most of the tricky stuff on this stage at this point. It's mostly that big boulder from a little bit early, and then some tricky enemy spawns if you happen to have the wrong sub-weapon. But we're pretty much through to this point. We just need to play smart, not do anything stupid, and we should be pretty much home free at this point. I think it's just down this hill. Yep, one single round of bats and a fruit that we're going to charge up for extra health. And we are onto the boss fight. Wow. We're onto the pre-boss fight side-scrolling shoot-em-up thing, but you get the idea. Now, I find on this one, it's honestly better to just avoid shooting the enemies and just try and avoid their projectiles. The problem is that they can generally get one off as they leave the screen as well. So you need to be thinking about their location kind of thrice over. One, you don't want to run into them. Two, you don't want to get hit by them as they enter the stage. And then three, you don't want to get hit by them as they leave the stage, like that. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't really matter how much health we have as we fight the boss, Zebatten, because the only way they can damage us is by throwing enemies at us, and if any of the enemies hit us, it doesn't matter how much health we have. So, it didn't really matter, but it's just one of those things. I'll make things a little bit harder on the next stage if we keep our life. Now, I think Zebatten's a reference to the old Castlevania games. You can only damage him by attacking their head. So, I think a little bit of a reference to the old Castlevania games there, but he's pretty easy. Generally, when he stops to fire out the bats, you can still hit his head, and you can get a ton of damage in that way. But with that, Zebatten over, the cavern's complete. We move on to the next stage, which takes the form of a sleepy little village, but that is for the next episode. So I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, but for now, adios and ciao.